All good. Welcome back, Mic Checka in the building. This is actually she's the first return guest on this show.
I am.
First
Hey y'all.
return guest, a fashionista. She worked for Willie Esco. She's the first girl in Iowa State history to wear clothes that was supposed to be for a music video just to Yo Kappa Raps.
I forgot the way that you like to introduce me. That is something. That is something. Nobody ever says Willie Esco or that I was trying to wear fur coats to college parties. You know?
And look, y'all, this is in 99, 2000. Now y'all young kids, y'all got more access to stuff now. Y'all got what was not Temu? What's the one the young ladies we always hitting up? Fashion Nova and stuff.
Right.
We didn't have that back in the day.
Fashion Nova. We did not. I was making all that stuff in my dorm room.
In the dorm room, man. Did you work for Hanes out in New York?
I did. Well, let me tell you what's real interesting. Yeah. And y'all, this is like an exclusive. I started at Sean John.
No, you told me that.
I did. Yes. So like right now.
God.
Listen, I got a lot to say that I ain't saying right now. But listen.
Well, no, you told us. You told me we went out to eat on that rooftop.
Yeah, I started at Sean John. So some of this that I'm seeing
is par for the course.
Yeah, it's just this is what I would say. This is what I would say is that environment, being that young, because remember you was at Vibe, so you know what it is. We had these conversations when we was in college. When I was in Sean John, that environment and Diddy was so volatile. It was so like either, we saw it, right? We saw it. The thing is that we've normalized it because we watched it on like Making the Band, but that was really like that environment. Like, do what I say or you fired.
Dude, I told you about the Dame Dash situation at the party, and he was pushing me out. That's why that's why people, when they was like, oh, like Dame was always on that. He cussed out all his interns and everything.
That was my experience. Like, it was like everybody was afraid of the celebrity in the room. Everybody was afraid. It was always a power trip. And that power trip has been being taken out of context and being misused for a long time. And we cannot, we can't continue to ignore it. And for those of us that have been in the industry like me and you for a long time, we've saw that dynamic, and like those type of things that happen, it's not the right work. It's not a good, healthy work environment. So like, all I'm saying is that people try to make it seem like this is not a big deal or it hasn't been happening forever. And I'm telling you, as a person that's been in the industry, me and you have had plenty of personal conversations that it can be very volatile and it can be a lot of misuse of power. And so don't always just dismiss the things that we hear, because some of us have experienced some of those things. So not me personally, I did not get to but I told somebody, I was trying my hardest to get to that white party. I'm gonna be honest. Because
back then though, the white party, you was set, you was straight if you got to the white party.
Yes, because everybody was there. Like, it wasn't even about, I didn't know nothing about the freak off stuff that was happening.
It was the networking to be there.
It was a networking thing. Like, everybody's going to be there. If I get an invite to this white party, I can meet people that are going to become clients, that I could build.
They're going to accept you as well. Like, oh, you in here. So yeah, I should be messing with you.
I should be working. Like, perception is a very strong thing. And so like, for real, like I told my pal, I was like, and let me tell you who was with me. And I shouldn't be saying this on camera, but the other intern, I ain't even gonna say his name, but the other intern is like an actor right now, right? He's an actor, but he was an intern with me, right?
No, people understand. People want to joke about it now, but then at that time, that was an exclusive thing you wanted to go to. and be a part of for your networking and capabilities.
Everybody. So like now we're making it seem, but you know what it was. Everybody was trying to get to that white party. Didn't nobody know exactly what was going on in there. But if you got in the room, then you knew that you were going to meet somebody. And like you said, perception is so strong in the industry, especially at that time. It wasn't social media. So it's like, oh no, if you in the room with me, I'm supposed to be working with you.
Yep.
And so me and my counterpart, who's the actor now, but I don't want him coming calling me talking about interviews about being Diddy, and I'm like, nope, I'm not. But he's the actor now. But me and him was in there plotting, trying to get to the white parties. Now I never got to one, and that might have been a blessing in disguise, apparently. But when I was an intern for that year that I was there, I was trying to get to them white parties for real.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of revisionist history going on when it comes to that. I've never been a Diddy fan, but I would have definitely went to the white party. I'm telling you that because it was so much in there. You was going like people just don't understand, man, how that was. There was no internet. Like literally, there was way more gatekeepers within the industry to be able to get to your next spot.
Exactly, and that was you talk about trying to get in the room, and we've talked about this too. We both left college to get in an environment that we knew would mold us and groom. Like we had to go. Like I have so many people that's like, why would you go from Iowa to New York City? Like the hardest place to ever live in the world. And I'm like, because we didn't have the type of accessibility that we had now. We don't got just an interview. I'm gonna send you an email, check out my profile. It wasn't like that. It's like if you in the room, then you can be qualified. If you not, then I don't know who you are. You some girl in Iowa. You know what I'm saying? So like I had to put myself in that environment. So anyway.
Yeah, so back. Look. There's so many funny stories I got about her from in college, man. And they all with her being one of the fly sisters on campus, man. I've got to find the picture from your camera somewhere on my old digital camera, man. I was gonna pay. Just like I didn't get all these old pictures off of this camera from back in college. Ain't nothing crazy on here, y'all. Before y'all, nobody was on that. We was just always having fun, and it was like. And it's almost looking back, it was like an innocent period, man, because we had our own community that was it was within Blackness, but outside of it was weird because our music and our campus was our music. You may have went somewhere else and they was playing something different or they was dressing something different, but we did what we did there in that community.
For sure.
But
just don't tell people that I showed up in the fur coat.
You did.
That's all I remember.
You did. Look, this is how bad it was. Nicole was late to the doggone party because she was sewing her dress still.
Always. And it was justifiable as long as it was fashionably late. As long as I could be dope and you got to make an interest. Everybody got to be there. You in college. Everybody there by the time I get there. And nobody.
We got our little blazer off the rack at what was the little store at Grand Mall? That was like God. Famous. That was like
why do you do this to me?
Yonkers. We used to get our little blazers off the rack. None of them fitting correctly, and maybe some slacks.
And what was
Nicole got a full-on Vera Wayne on.
That is not true. The last time you was like, we wearing Tommy Hilfiger and you try to wear fur coats.
Exactly.
That was the last time.
And I was proud of my little Tommy. I got that at the outlet.
Listen, let me tell you something. What's crazy though is I've been an upcycler all my life. So I've been going to thrift stores and that's how I learned how to sew. So yeah, I never told you that. So it's popping now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many people that are upcycling like thrift clothes and like putting a spin on different things, all of that. But yeah, that's how I learned. So my grandmother was teaching me how to sew and I was cutting up my Barbie doll clothes. And when I started to transition from wanting to sew for Barbie dolls and sew for myself, then I started cutting up my clothes and I was mad young. So I was just tearing shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like 10, I was like 9, 10, I don't really know how to use a sewing machine. I'm trying to hand sew. And my mom used to get so mad. And my grandmother was like, let me just take you to the thrift store so that you can not tear up your clothes, your new clothes, but you have like clothes that you can understand how to repurpose them. So I really learned how to go from like sewing for a Barbie doll and a doll to the human body with thrift clothes. So I started upcycling when I was super young, mad young.
Wow.
So some of the stuff that you would see me in college, I mean, yes, I was wearing fur coats and stuff like that, but some coats was like my grandma's coats, you know what I'm saying? Now some of those was like legacy things or whatever, but some of that stuff, either I was making it, like literally going to the fabric store and sewing it in my dorm room, or some of it could have been upcycled from some thrift store I went to in Minnesota, Chicago, picked it up, brought it back, you know, made it happen. But it was a fashion show for me, fashion and dancing. As long as we could get them line dance. And can you believe line dancers is back? Yo. DJ Jubilee was popping back. Ooh, I sound old as hell. Dang. Okay. Do your audience know how old you are?
I mean, they see the grays in my beard. They know.
Okay, good. If they don't, I'd have just busted us out.
We the same class. They know exactly how old you are.
Okay. Yes, we used to line dance like a mug. We used to be in there sweating and fashion shows.
Okay? Partying, man. Partying. Right. It's so crazy. I went back up to Ames. When did I go back up there?
When we doing a reunion?
I know. I was talking to Bartolozzi about that, man. Funny that you said that. I was like, man, I might just go up there and just start tailgating on like a day to tell people to come out there, and I'm just gonna be out there kicking it. Come through if you can.
Tell me, I'll be there.
Because I went to what did I do up there? Like, I took my daughter up there to see it. No, I didn't take her up there. I can't remember. It was Rashawn's wedding. Rashawn Long got married, and that was last time I was up there. No, and then I went to a game with him too. We went to see Mizzou play Iowa State, but that was before the pandemic. So
then we owe it.
I owe it. I gotta get back. Yeah, I need to get back.
Reunion, some type of reunion.
Yeah, because it was so crazy. So the last time I went up there, we went out, right? So we thinking about I'm easily 39. We try to figure out where to go. He's like, man, we gonna go to Sips. Ain't nobody up in there.
Nobody was in there. I was like, it must have been kids in there for real.
No. I'm talking. We was gonna try to see what's cracking. Them spots wasn't popping no more. We like, we finna go on the Sips.
Nobody was anywhere popping. Where did
so it's a whole other area. You know, like West Ames now. They got a whole bunch of bars and clubs out there now.
Oh, so what? What's the name of the street?
Past Delaware and all that. Back past Delaware.
But where Sips is on what street?
Sips is on Welch.
On Welch, got it. So Welch used to be popping, and now they got a whole different.
No, they moved it all out to West Ames.
Got it.
So remember that come and go used to be all around West Ames. That's like basically was the end of Ames. It's stuff all behind that now, like all after that now.
Got it.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna have to go visit.
Yeah, man. It was some good times. I learned a lot about myself there, man.
I think we all did.
Yeah. So let's get into it. You got the book, man. What you got, a book now?
I do. This is my 4th publication.
Yes, I thought you only had 2. I was gonna say I thought you only had 2. This is your 4th one?
This is my 4th one. Well, I have 3 books for publication. So the first book that I got published in, I was a contributor. So it was actually in collaboration. It was called Souls of My Young Sisters, and like Mary J. Blige was in it, and like Layla Hathaway. It was so funny. And so everybody was kind of putting their stories in, and one of the heads of that marketing team came to me. I was working in the industry and was like, yo, you should put your story in here. And so I was one of many women that put my story and got published. And then I wrote a book, Words Transform. Then I wrote the second book, and I was like, yo, I need to create a platform for other first-time authors. And really somebody checked me. I'm gonna be honest. A Black girl came up to me one time and was like, if I'm not publishing, I should be. And I kind of took it. I was like, whoa, you don't even know me. Like, dang. And she just really was like, she traveled the world. She was a vlogger. And she was like, there's so many women of color that don't have the freedom or the opportunity to tell their stories and to have them published. And we got to honor that freedom. You know what I mean? And so somebody had approached me, a girl I went to high school with, was like, hey, I was really inspired by your last book. I want to write a book. And I was like, yo, let's create a platform for people to tell their stories and to get published. So it was me and 19 other first time women authors in my last book. That was Passion, Prayer, Purpose. And now I got a new book. Yay!
Yeah, so let's take a step back though. You had designed her life as well.
Yeah.
How did you come? Because that's y'all be doing retreats, y'all be doing all kind of eat, pray, love things y'all be doing out there. Y'all be meditating. Y'all, and this is all Nicole is doing all this. She out there getting your mind right, ladies, like getting your mind on a different level. How did that even come out? Because when we first talked last time, you wasn't doing that yet.
Really?
No.
I wasn't.
You wasn't doing the retreat. You was talking about, you was telling me you was getting ready to start doing those.
Oh, then it must have been a long time ago. Okay,
2020.
so
2020 was last time. It was during the pandemic.
Oh no, I had taken a break. So I actually so backstory for your audience is that started in the fashion industry as a designer first and then moved into styling. So I was a design assistant and a stylist.
Sidebar, you got some Willie Esco? I want to throw that back at some point.
You love my mentor. He is like your favorite.
It was something about the clothes. It was being in the Source magazine. I was being marketed to. I was like, yo, I want to get some of that Willie Esco. Oh, dang, I ain't never seen that Willie Esco here in St. Louis.
Nah, Will, that's my boy. You know what I mean? Because especially at that time, Will has always had a heart for designers. You know what I mean? And so I told you how I met him, right? Yeah, out in Vegas. I had snuck into a show trying to get some connections, and he's kind of scooped me up and has always been a person of integrity, like never been like, oh, this young dumbass girl from Iowa, don't know nobody. He was like, you need to learn this system, this system, this system. I'm gonna put you over here, make that happen, and he's been in my life for a long time and been helpful in terms of direction anytime I need to make a decision. So I love Will, and just on the strength of how he mentors plenty of people, not just me. He's a legend for real. You know what I mean?
I need to get a whole new. I need a line of it. I'll be a spokesperson in 2025 still.
Okay, all right. We're gonna send him this interview. So
yeah,
I'll text it to him. Yeah, he'll get in. We're gonna get it popping. But so yeah, the book. So what happened was, for those of you that don't know, I started my career was in the fashion industry. About 2 years in, I started a business, or 2 years, 10 years in, I started a business called Design Her Life. But it really was a play on personal development. I got introduced to a personal development coach. She did a group coaching program and just kind of opened me up to, my own ability to design my own life, and empowered me and in terms of the way that I think about the world and wellness, and with the issue that I didn't have an issue with her business model. It just wasn't a lot out there. This was before like a Iyanla Vanzant. The only real person that was connected to the Black community, I would say, that was doing that type of work was like Oprah. And she was really way more for like older women, and her target market wasn't mine. And so I was just like, yo, like, it's just not enough out here. Now you see it everywhere. You see so many people having retreats, and you see, therapy for Black girls, and you see different platforms. Soft life and self-care is like buzzwords now, especially after 2020. But when I first started it was not it wasn't buzzwords. People was like,
I am Dom with the Uncaped Mama podcast. What can you expect on the Uncaped Mama podcast? Well, one, you can expect me talking about all types of topics related to motherhood and parenting. So things like, things I've already talked about here, right, are going through loss and experiencing loss and rebuilding your relationship with yourself. I've talked about child support and all the issues surrounding that. I'll talk about money and finances. I've talked about self-care for parents. I will have myself, I'll have guests, I will have funny and light topics and also some more serious topics. My goal here is for moms to take their capes off, be okay with the good, bad, and the in-between that comes with motherhood, and to be able to shape your journey the way that works best for you and your children. You are unique. You are different. There's lots of advice out there and a lot of information you can process. And my goal is for you to determine what works best for you. So that is the purpose of the Uncaped Mama podcast. That is what you will see here. Make sure to like, subscribe, listen, follow, engage with me. I would love to connect with you, and I'll see you on the next.
Never been to anything personal. I don't even know what personal development is. And so, yeah, we went to Jamaica. We went to Dominican Republic. I booked a trip during the pandemic. Right when the pandemic hit, we were going to Morocco. So all over the world, weekend retreats and week retreats, team retreats. I've started hosting for like different business owners that are out there that wanted to bring their teams together and wanted me to curate retreats. So I did get into the retreat business. Now that business definitely took a hit during COVID. Every travel business took a hit during COVID. And a lot of people didn't think that personal development and design her life was travel, but we are, because we do retreats and we do it all over the country. You know what I'm saying? So it's personal development and it's a level of travel. So it took a hit. I took a break and I brought Design Her Life back about 2 years ago, and I pivoted. And so this book is still under my business. It's just a little pivot in terms of who I'm talking to and who I'm helping.
So what's the so 25 strategies to command any room? All right. So
strategies.
So yeah. I know they had, what was the one book that everyone was kind of reading a couple of years ago? It was like How to Be a Bitch or something like that. I forgot the name of it.
Was it? It was
like yeah, I believe a white woman wrote it though. Somebody's already probably yelling that thing because I know.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So I would say that the missing piece, if I'm being really honest, was so what people may not know is that I spent most of my adult life. So went to Iowa State. That's where you and I got to meet, and then spent most of my adult life in New York. So 20 plus years I was there, and yeah, I popped around a little bit. I was in the LA area. I think you know that, but I was in the LA area, in the Dallas Fort Worth area for a little bit, but spent most of my career in working in fashion in the New York City area. It wasn't until, and then my business was like personal development, how we see ourselves, how we show up, our personal identities. And people will always say like, well, do some fashion with that. You know what I'm saying? You got this career job over here and then you got this whole separate business. And so how do you bring those two together? I would say the missing piece for me in terms of what I'm doing right now really came when I came back to Iowa. So I moved back to Iowa 2.5 years ago, and I took a job as a director of marketing and communications, right? And so a lot of people were like, well, how did you go from like trend forecasting and global color and consumer insights, right, to over to branding and marketing? And so what they don't really realize is in that gap, number one, from a communications perspective, that's what I did for my job. Now I was communicating something different, but I did presentations. I delivered on where this is the information that you need to know in order to inform your next decision from a forecasting perspective, right? So it was very much communications based. And then on top of that, it wasn't just about color when it comes to the collection. We would present to like marketing and work with them. We would present to brands and work with them, because the thing about a lot of the information in terms of the psychology of color, then all of our businesses and business leaders wanted that information because it doesn't just apply. So like some of the things, for instance, when you think about color theory, color influences the brain, you know what I mean? Like very quickly. And so it actually bypasses logic and it actually influences the brain. So a lot of people feel like color is very silly, but color is directly connected to a variety of different things when it comes to your buying patterns, when it comes to consumer insights, when it comes to what you gravitate towards more. Blue is connected to trustworthiness. You know, this is connected to that thought. You know, there's so much psychology behind style and color. And so what I think the missing piece is taking on that role as a director of marketing and communications really put me in front of and engaging with and coaching about 750 business owners. And I realized like, wow, like the information in all of these years, these last 7 years that I played in terms of what is the psychology of people making decisions and leadership and the piece was identity, because I was doing that work with women leaders. I really brought all of that information together and flipped it on its head and said, how can we use color theory as a leader when I'm doing a presentation or I'm doing sales or I want to influence somebody to do the thing that I want them to do? And so when I talk about the strategies to command any room, the art of showing up in style, then it's a research base. It has a little bit of the fashion, the psychology of style. It has a little bit of that color theory, that all of those critical things that I had to learn in order to inform big business, billion dollar businesses on making decisions so they can influence us. How can we use that information to our benefit to influence others? You know what I'm saying? So that's really what this book is about.
So that's I mean, that's an interest, especially when it comes to color, because like you said, like blue means like, trustworthiness. That's why they say, like, when you wear red, you got to wear it correctly, because it can be like, oh wow, okay, you kind of popping right now, like, using that. What is one of the things that you've seen the like biggest mistake people use color wise when it comes to that? It comes to interacting with people.
I would say the biggest mistake that I feel like people make is that they don't think that color has any value or interest. I think it's the misuse of color. I think that color is one of the most influential things that you can use, especially when it comes to marketing, when it comes to influence. So when it comes to internal and external influence, color is a very underused tool. And I think that that's really the lane that I want to be in, right? Like now you see people that are doing some color analysis, and you see the psychology of style or color theory or some of those things popping up in different brand blogs and stuff like that, because people they understand it, but it almost feels like this creative thing. Like, yeah, we talk about color if you're a creative, and they don't realize, like I said, a lot of people don't realize some of the fascinating facts that come along with what I'm talking about. Like, I've had to inform plenty of corporations, because now, I have a training that goes along with it. And so that training that I've been able to do and talk to professionals, I just did a training for 81 professionals, a professional development training. And so they look at me and they're like, well, why does style have any, why should we care?
I was just going to say that. Yeah, why should they care? Yeah.
Why should they care? Okay, that's a great question. So did you know that people form a first impression in 7 seconds?
I do know that.
And that 90% of that impression is based on appearance. And that 62% to 90% is based on color alone.
Now, I did not know it, but color alone. I knew that they judge you off the strength, off immediately, for sure.
Right? Within, like I said, within 7 seconds. So a lot of times we don't think that, you think that what you're going to say at a networking event is going to be the most critical thing. And yeah, it's going to be important, but also take into consideration that style and color matter. And what I like to call identity style, it matters because people are absolutely judging you before you say one word. So before you get to speak to your project, enroll them in your vision, create a fan, influence a investor, before any of that happens, then there is a first impression that happens that's purely based off of appearance. And unfortunate as it is, it still does exist. So while we like to try to have this conversation, like, and people tell me all the time that style is superficial, and I say, well, it can be, or it can be strategic. If you have enough information about it, you can use it for your benefit. And I think that's what this book is all about. The 25 strategies are really tools that you could pull out to say, hey, I need to negotiate. What are some ways I need to have more presence in this space? I need to be a better presenter. I need to be a better speaker. How can I use my body language? How can I use my voice? How can I tell my story? So I think when I talk about the art of showing up, I'm not just talking about appearance. I'm talking about presence. I'm talking about how you show up and take up space in a room. And that's an internal thing. And that's also an external thing. And we have to find some balance. And this is about finding that balance.
So within finding that balance, what it is when you look at color overall, within these different spectrums, different places, different things, is it certain colors? Are people using certain colors in the wrong spaces, or are they not using them in the correct place? Like, so like we were using the color blue. Like maybe you shouldn't be wearing blue in some places, but you're wearing blue where you shouldn't be, and vice versa.
I would say that, okay, so there are 3 components to that, right? One of them is color theory, right? And color theory is really more connected to external influence. It's more connected to, when you think of red, what do you think of? You might think of power. You might think of Republicans. You might think of hearts. You might think of blood. You might think of caution, stop. Those are all things that we've been taught from a cultural perspective to associate with red. So that, think about, this is a super simplified. I know that there's some like super nerd in this area that's like, she's simplifying it way too much, but it's okay. Okay, we just gotta simplify. We ain't got all that. You know what I'm saying?
It's a regular comment, folks. It's a regular comment, folks.
So when you think about those are associations. So color theory, think about it in terms of like when someone sees that color, there's an association that happens, right? The reason why this matters is because think about it in terms of, think about it in terms of like unconscious bias. Unconscious bias really happens because we have so much information coming into the brain that the brain has to take shortcuts to split that information up, right?
Yep.
Your brain is doing that with colors too. Your brain is seeing red, and instead of thinking about it, you like, it doesn't matter that much to me. I don't want to use that much brain power on thinking about why they wore that color. So I'm just going to very quickly put them in a category that I associate with red. I'm going to put them in a category that I associate with blue. Blue has been traditionally connected with trustworthiness, technology, AI. Right now, you're going to see more blue. Why? Because it's connected to trustworthiness. How did it get connected to trustworthiness? It was connected to the Democratic Party. That's something that they connected to it. So these are all cultural, influential things that happen. Environmental things. So things that are happening in the world that people associate with those colors. Okay, so that happens very quickly, automatic. The brain our colors speak directly to the brain instantly. It actually bypasses logic and it speaks to it automatically, right? Or instantly. And so when that happens, then you're like, oh, that green Nicole is wearing represents money, or it represents something that is in the earth, or this is the same color of the green little, things on my Apple computer. Whatever it is, it's association. That's theory. But then you also have color therapy, and color therapy is directly connected to how does it influence you internally, right? So how can you use this to influence your performance? And there's actually research. So like MIT did a study, and they have research that shows that color boosts memory retention by up to 78%. And so a lot of times people don't realize that wearing a color, right, can help you not only be seen, but it can help you be remembered, right? And so it can help you from an internal perspective, but it could also impact someone else that you're encountering to remember you and be associated with that color. So there are ways that you can use style.
And it's all subconsciously too. You don't even know that you're doing this.
You see what I'm saying? You see why I think it's the most underused tool. And and you know what? I didn't really realize, I'm gonna be 100% honest to you. Like, I didn't even think when I used to do global color for like Champion Hanes, that organization and the brands that we served, I really took it for granted, to be honest. Like, I worked in global color for 5 years. I was over the department, and I was kind of like, how is this color thing really gonna help me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? And so I'm always, where's the future in color? Like, don't nobody care about color like that. And it wasn't really and this speaks to like just being a purposefully driven person. Like I am a person where I do believe that like all things do work together for our good, right? And so like to think that I'm here now and that 5 years of working with, you know, $26 million budgets and this big collection and this and that and this and that, who would have thought that now I would be using that same theory, that same influence, that same information to make these big brands that we buy money. How can we use that information to empower ourselves so that we can understand how to use it and how to influence people on, like you said, a subconscious level so that we could get the desired result? I like to say my book is The Devil Wears Prada meets the 48 Laws of Power.
Ooh, I like that comparison. Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you somebody did some media training.
Put those things together and come pick up this strategy.
So, okay, within that, can you I guess in general, this is from your research or what you've been looking at. Do you think most people use color like in a powerful way, or are they just subconsciously doing it because that's just what they do?
Then they're not. I don't think the majority of the population even knows what I'm talking about even exists. I would say that there's been an uptick in color analysis, right? And color analysis are basically like you might see them on TikTok or you know, on social media or wherever where you see a person that's like myself that's trained and has a background in color. And the color tool is set up to do what's called a biological mapping. And that biological mapping takes like, hey, what's the undertone for me? And what's my hair color? What's my eye color? And so because of all of these elements, then this color looks best on me. So you're starting to see an uptrend in people doing that on like social media and those businesses popping up. I would say that I've also created a tool.
Plug it.
You know that it was gonna be, you know that if we do a research and we know what's happening, and I'm like, okay, then I need to be where what's happening. So for me, I think the piece that's missing
podcast, we definitely discuss healing. We discuss aspects of psychology. We discuss like, you know, you becoming the best you, mental wellness,
for sure,
health,
femininity, parenthood, dating,
definitely dating,
single parents. And it's from a lens of two psychologists, you know.
Yeah.
So,
but also two people who grew up like with both parents, married parents, and then like you all know that Chloe and I are the youngest of our crews, like her siblings and my siblings. So so it's from that perspective.
Yeah, looking at life through that lens. Yeah. So you're gonna get a whole lot of things from us. From us being women, going through life as parents, and all of these awesome attributes. But yes, womanology, the study of women.
The study of women.
There are two things that are missing. My tool is called the influential color analysis, because the pieces that are missing in terms of, in my perspective, with my tool and some of the tools that are out there is, number one, all of them are based off of white skin. And that's not a you know, it's not a judgment. It just is a fact. And so because of that, then there's not a lot of range in the biological mapping when it comes to a variety of different skin tones, melatonin, undertones. They are oftentimes different with people of color, right? And we have so many people of color. So I think that that's one thing that I found in my research that was missing that I'm incorporating into my tool. Number one. Number two, it's all about the influence, but internal and external. How can you use this when you need it? If you and I were not having a conversation, I could wear green today because green makes me happy, right? I know that about myself because I've done a lot of work around color. So I know what colors I need to wear. Like I said, red makes me feel powerful. Stilettos make me feel like a boss. So I wear stilettos when I'm doing presentations. Like those are what I like to call power style assets. And when I'm working with a client, I want them to pull together and become aware of what they need and what will help them show up differently. And so this color tool helps them from an internal Like, how is this going to influence my behavior? How can I be clear, trustworthy? How can I be powerful? How can I do that for myself? But then how can I use that in order to create influence for other people, like what we were talking about? So that's the biggest differences. It's like, yes, it's going to do the biological and tell you what you look good in, but then it's also going to tell you like how to use it for influence. If you're in a bad mood, if you're sad, there are certain colors that you can use in order to boost your mood. That's the color therapy side. That is, how do you feel when you see this color? You know what I mean? Like, some people are like, I was working with a client and he was like, that pink is my power color, but I don't wear it very often. I wear neutrals. I wear green, grays and tans. And then we got to a place where he discovered that he wears tans and neutrals because he spends a lot of time in women dominant spaces. And so he does that in order to
bring down their guard for they won't feel
appropriate. Yes. So to be more approachable, to be more appropriate, than in his mind, he's like, let me tone it down so that when I show up, I don't show up like full blown Beyonce popping, you know what I'm saying, with all my personality, you know what I mean? But when he really wants to show up in his power, then he wears pink. And the thing is, let me tell you, what I think that what's really resonating with my audiences is that everybody knows this. Like, you know what it is. You know what colors you like to put on. You know what you feel good in, what's popping for you. Everybody knows it. They just don't realize that there's science behind it.
So it's black behind that. It's black automatically. You're gonna be on some goon shit. Like, is that, like, when I'm on black, I'll be like, I'm on one tonight.
Yeah, you know what it is. Like, you know what it is. Like, when I wear, like, if I want to be professional, there are certain things that I want to feel. I love a blazer. I love a blazer. I don't care if I want to feel. It's not about what other people think. It's about the structure. A real structured blazer just makes me stand up different. You're going to approach me different. My whole aura energy is going to be different. We know that everybody has power style assets. They just don't know, how did I get this? What is it? How do I take a step back so I can have the awareness around it and I could pull it out when I need it? That's really what I'm trying to do right now.
So what made you, what started you on this journey of going down? You just said like you had worked in colors for so long. How did you even like, this is like some mad science shit. So like, how did you even like decide I need to go in the lab and figure all this stuff out? Like you seem like the thing where the person got all the different formulas going by them. That's me right now. Like, oh,
yes, that's okay. Got it. I'll take that. I think that it's been a journey. These last 4 years for me have been the most difficult 4 years of my life, for sure. I didn't realize. You said why? Why?
Why? And why? It was both.
Why is because I did not realize that, I transitioned. We got hit with COVID in New York so early. And, I'll never forget, I had a cold or something. So I was one of the first people of my whole company to get sent home and have to work from home. They was like, anybody that's been coughing, sick,
you automatically stay home.
They was like, don't come back to the office. Like, when I tell you they kicked me out of the office so quick, like first, like before we even knew what was happening, they was like, Nicole, you gotta go. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And I just did not, I underestimated and I wasn't aware that there was a grief connected to transition. Right. I didn't realize how much I would miss New York. I didn't realize that I had created this very close-knit, chosen family of friends that support me, and leaving New York, that I would leave them. You know what I mean? During COVID, like I said, I had a sold out retreat to Morocco, you know what I mean? And I lost thousands of dollars. And so it just took me into this place, and I feel like everybody experienced this, you know what I mean, with like COVID, and we're still kind of dealing with the repercussions of what that looks like. But I just did not realize that, like, leaving New York, leaving the fashion industry, leaving my community, leaving like my place, because I never moved back to New York. Like I kept my place for 2 years, which was not a good idea, but I lost a lot of money. Like, look, let me put that out there. Girl ain't got it all together. We make mistakes. So I should have got rid of that place, but I had my place for 2 years, and I was working remotely with my job. So I was going back and forth, but I was spending most of my time in Dallas. I really never fully moved back to New York. You know, it just kind of uprooted me. And since then, I've just been figuring it out. And so I would say that this didn't really come from a place where I felt like it was brilliance. It really came from a place of survival. You know, when I landed this job a couple years ago, you know, next thing you know, I'm in front of 750 business owners, and I'm depressed. I'm grieving. I'm in Waterloo, and I'm missing my friends, and I'm missing my life. And this is where I go get my smoothies from. And this is where I, like
Waterloo.
My favorite restaurant, you know what I mean? So I'm grieving my life and depressed. And now, you know, I got to be in front of like 750 business owners. I have to address the student council. I have to be on the news with the mayor. I have to show up. And what I realized was, like, I have been helping people and creating retreats and curriculums, and I've been helping businesses with this psychology and this. And some of that has to be here to benefit me. So I would say that these 25 strategies really came from me practicing them myself first. And so this was like a experience first. Let me be the test. Let me figure out how to grab something and figure it out to empower myself, you know, to create the type of influence that I need to cheer myself up, to feel proud. You know, like, that's how I moved. I ain't never been a red fan. I've been wearing red for the last 2 years because I know it makes me feel powerful. I know psychologically it can impact my performance. And that's what I needed, especially in the midst of transition. And I just knew it wasn't just for me. I was like, I know that any really ambitious human being is going through transition every couple of years, because you're like, I need a new business. What am I going to do in my new business? Every next level requires a new you. Every next business move, every transition, going to a new place, starting, being a father, the age that we are, you know, we are having kids that are graduating, you know. So some of my clients are like, hey, I'm an empty nester and I don't even know what I like. I spend so much time
doing stuff for them,
taking care of people. Yeah, I don't even know what I like. You know, I don't even know how I want to show up. I don't know what's in my closet, what works, what doesn't work. My body has changed. Like, we go through so many human transitions, and I just knew that it wasn't just me. I knew that somebody else could benefit from it. I'm a contribution kind of person at my core, and I felt like it could be a contribution to the world. So we put it out.
No, it's dope. I mean, like literally, I'm sitting on Amazon here. I'm gonna order a couple of them from you.
How about if I could send them?
I got to send them to some people. I got to, you know, Amazon.
You're my friend.
No. I need to send them to certain people. They live in different places.
So okay, got it. You can do it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay. You can do it on Amazon then. Go ahead. No problem. No, so yeah, that was it. And then what happened was, to be honest, I, you know, pitched the book, put the book out, and sent the information over to a couple professional development organizations, and they saw the vision. They were like, our people are in transition. And when I say transition, I'm talking about they're going, and I'm not just talking about grief or depression or whatever. I'm also talking about, you went from a senior manager to a director. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about, I went from an engineer to managing engineers. Me and you just talked about it. I went from being the creator to now I'm in meetings. You know what I mean? And I have to deliver results now of my team. And a lot of times when we get into those professional transition, nobody talks about the visibility that comes along with it. Now you are giving presentations. Now you have to enroll people. Now you have to manage people. You have to show up differently. That is a transition. And when I started having those conversations, a number of professional development organizations, and one that I really adore is called Women Lead Change. They picked me up and was like, hey, we want to put you on a regional tour to talk about this. And then that's really it was great. Thank you, Women Lead Change, and for seeing the vision, right? And then once I start getting in front of those 200 corporate leaders and 300 corporate leaders and 100 corporate leaders, then I started realizing really that this really needs to be more than a book. It needs to be a framework, right? And that framework can be taught so that we can create transformation. So very quickly, me and my coach got together and we were like, how can we complete the framework? And now I'm doing the framework for professional development teams. I just had the opportunity, like I told you, to work with a team of 80, and we went in and we talked about identity, and we talked about style, and we talked about how they show up in the world. And then I gave them some tools on that can, help them. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going across the country and I'm talking about it to business. You can use it in business as well as your professional career. So that's what's going on. And then, like I said, the book is a framework. And then the framework also has a tool in it, and that's called ICA, the influential color analysis. And then it has, again, the principles that I'm talking about that I feel like need to influence results. That's what I'm really going for. I mean, I want you to look good in your clothes. Yes, that's great.
I work from home. I only have to look good once a month for meetings.
I want you to look good, but I also want you, like I said, I'm all about tools. Like if I need to pull this out, like right now, today I'm having a bad day, pull it out and empower yourself. That's what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? Have something in your back pocket, tool that you could flip your mind from focusing to gratitude, or your mood from being sad to feeling empowered, what we wear. There's another study, and I know, I'm sounding very nerdy about this, but I don't care. But there's another study that's called enclosed cognition, and enclosed cognition was done at East Western. I always say, yeah. That might not be right. I want to say Northwestern, but it's not Northwestern.
Northeastern? Is it yes. You think in Boston, Northeastern?
Yes, Northeastern. You're right. Yeah. University. You're right. Yeah. And the study proved that what we wear directly impacts our confidence, our attention, and our performance. And they did a number of different tests around like this white coat theory, and all of these different tests around how people performed if they felt like this was a doctor's white coat, or if they felt like this was a Batman uniform. Like our associations, no, for real, like our associations with things. And that has to do with mindset, right? And not mindset in that like bro conversation, that conversation that's kind of like, well, that's all in your mind, don't nothing exist but what you think. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that there are associations that we have with things that can impact our performance, and it's research behind it. How do you and I figure out what that is for you so that you can use it when you need it? You know what I mean?
So in theory, if after reading this book, I'll be able to go in a room and be like, hey man, he got on purple. He tripping today. So we might want to rechange up when we do the presentation.
No, that's not.
Look, it's a brother right now driving right now, listening like, oh, I think my girl got on red. Oh, she gonna be tripping tonight. So
I mean.
I didn't want nobody thinking that now they read your book and then they go out here and they just color explaining. They out here, they take your book like that, like it's a Bible. Like, she wearing white.
That means I wouldn't say that. I can't make that promise. I can't. That ain't the promise. I can't do that.
So she wearing yellow. That means that she want to go gardening. So
But
you need to take her to the garden.
what I would say to that, even though it's funny as hell, but what I would say to that is that once you understand a person's logic around colors, then you are able to notice that. You know what I mean? Like if someone knows me well and they're around me a lot, then they might see, like if Nicole got on red, she probably doing a presentation. Because she don't really wear red like that unless she needs to feel powerful. Oh, Nicole has on a certain necklace that reminds her of her mother. You know what I'm saying? Nicole got on heels today. She's probably doing blank. So once you really start to pay attention and have awareness around it, like I believe that like self-awareness is the key to personal power. It's also when you start to like really move in that energy, then the people around you, they at some level they are able to see that. They are able to see, okay, she got on such and such, or this person is doing this. And usually when they do that, it's because it's connected to this. I mean, I don't think that you should make those assumptions, but I would say that some of that will start to play out with somebody that is reading this book. I will say,
because as I know some people would be like, Tony got on the shoot, he got a court date, like, you know, like stuff like that. Like,
no, but again, like I said, I do, like if you around me, you gonna be like, oh, Nicole got on the blazer, she's on her professional shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or she got on this, so she on her whatever, you know what I mean? Like you start to pay attention, and the thing is you know that anyway. You just don't, it's just not conscious. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not thinking about it because of decision fatigue. You don't need to think about it. Why does it matter? But if you have the information and you can use it when it does matter, then why not have the tools? You know what I mean? So I'm teaching people how to have the tools.
So, and y'all got to go get this. The Art of Showing Up in Style, 25 Strains to Command Any Room. All right. So I have a game for you at the end of our show. It's 81 questions. I was born in 81, so that's why I made it 81. No, you don't have to answer 81. Listen.
No, it's okay.
No, you get you say a number. I have a list of them. You say a number, and then it goes to the number of the question.
Okay, well, my favorite number is 25. And so I'm gonna go for question number 25.
Okay, 25. Let us know a story from college that no one knows about that is funny.
This is harder than I thought. I don't know. I would say that
it's not even hard. It's not. I'm not asking you that.
If you would have asked me high school, I would have told you. I don't have a lot of.
Okay, we changed to high school. Go ahead. We changed to high school.
Okay, so in high school, I would say this is so embarrassing. Nobody knows this. Some people know this because they saw it, but very few people. So my most embarrassing moment in high school, I ran track, and I was actually very good at track. And so I was a freshman, and we had a really difficult coach, and that coach used to like work us out until we were deliriously tired. And it was one of those practices that they were working us out and we were deliriously tired, and it started to rain. And I was so tired that I was like, let me just close my eyes and just run this last 100 to get to the finish line. And that was the dumbest thing that I could have ever did but I was so tired. Y'all. I was like, yo, I ain't gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. And I was trying to pull from my inner strength, and I ran right into a fence. And I was a freshman. I was so embarrassed. Like, it's upperclassmen out there. I'm trying to prove myself. But anyway, that was my most embarrassing moment. Ran right into a fence. But the benefit was everybody else was so deliriously tired that really wasn't nobody paying attention.
Since you do it anyway.
But I did run into a fence though. Okay. So the world.
All right, one more. No, name. Give me another number. Another number. Pick another number.
I'm gonna go with 7.
All right. Name a character from a TV show that represents you the most.
From a TV show. I would say that I really connected, and this is gonna sound a little crazy, but I really connected to being Mary Jane.
Okay.
The show. Yeah, I really connected to that. It was a lot of dynamics when it came to being career focused versus balancing like the traditional things that you're supposed to want, you know what I mean? And kind of what does that balance look like, and kind of dealing with that internally. I would say that right now, without a lot of thought, that main character spoke to me, Mary Jane, on being Mary Jane.
See, that wasn't hard. See, that's it. That's the 81. So you did 2 questions out of the 81. That was it. See, you thought it was gonna be 81 questions, literally.
I was like, woo, I don't even know if I got the answers. What's the hardest question that you got?
Oh, I mean, all of them are like fun questions like that. I don't have any like.
What's your favorite question?
My favorite question is, when has your parents ever embarrassed you in public as an adult?
Oh shoot. I'm not going to answer.
Yeah. See, that one get to start thinking. You like,
yeah, I don't know. I gotta think about that. My parents don't usually embarrass me as an adult, but yeah, they don't usually embarrass me. They pretty chill.
Or another one is on here is with parents. When did you try to run up on your parents? When is the first and last time you try to run up on your parents?
Oh, let me tell you the first time I did it. Let me tell you. My dad did not believe in like whoopings when we were growing up, right? And so, my mom had a strong backhand, but my dad, he was like, this is my daughter and I can't put my hands on my daughter, like I will hurt her. You know what I'm saying? But we was just talking about this last night, me and my dad, and but it was one time that I got smart with my dad in a public place and I was embarrassing him. And when I tell you my dad hit this Spock move on me, like Star Trek Spock right behind my neck, I thought I was gonna die. I was like, oh my God.
How old were you? How old were you?
Oh, I might have been like 9th grade, 10th grade. I don't know. But my dad, and I thought I could get away with it because I was like, my dad ain't, we're in public.
And it's in public. He ain't gonna do nothing. I wish he would.
I'm cool. I got smart. I might have been like 9th grade, maybe like 9th, between 8th and 10th grade, where I kind of was feeling myself a little bit. My dad hit me with this Spock move, and he did it so smooth, like he just hit me right at the back of my neck, and I promise you, I just hit the floor. I was like, oh no, I was dramatic. Man, I was so embarrassed. I ain't never came at my dad like that. I was like, oh no, he gonna hit me with that Spock move. I am not doing that.
The Spock move. And was it fast? Was it fast?
Man, it was so fast. And we was in a park, so it was like hundreds of people around, yo. And I don't want to do that or something. I don't know. I got a little smart with him. Man, he walked up to me one time. He walked up to me like, "What you say?" And hit me with that Spock move. I was like, "Oh, I ain't."
Did he come back and apologize like, "My bad, I didn't mean to do that," or he was at?
No, he didn't. Get your shit together. Let's go. Now, are you ready to move on to the line? You know what I'm saying? Like, he checked me so strong, and didn't nobody know. Like, I was looking stupid because nobody knew that the Spock move was on my neck, and I'm like, did anybody know? This is child abuse. And he's like, get up, let's go. Now get your attitude together. I ain't never did that again. I'm telling you.
Nicole, where can people hit you up at online and check out? Where can you plug in everything?
So come holler at me. I am everywhere, Nicole Sallis. Come hit me up on LinkedIn. I am new to the YouTube world, but you can hit me up on Nicole Sallis. My website is www.nicolesallis.com. If you want to reach me, support at nicolesallis.com. And the book is out. It's on sale right now. And the biggest thing is that I'm really looking for opportunities to get this information out there. Like I said, I think that there are different ways.
This is stuff I didn't even know,
Yeah, it's different ways that we can empower people. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm using my gift, I'm using my experience, my knowledge, and my interest to figure out some really cool ways to empower people so that they can have them to empower themselves. So it's still empowerment. I just pivoted and shifted. And like I said, I went through it myself. So it's tried and true out here with clients. And I had to be on the news real quick and get my life together and shape it up and get
you was on
quick.
the news, so Lord, you were just like,
oh my God, you don't even know. I was on the news maybe in that role. I probably was on the news 12 to 14 times in 14 months. Every month I was on the news. Everything that we did, I was on the news. So I had to get it together plenty of times, and I had to use these tools myself so that I could show up, even though I was going through a personal and professional transition. And it happens, like nobody is above that. Like I said, every new level requires a new you, and it's going to test you in a new way. Why not have some tools to help you get through it?
Well, thank you, Nicole. And
thank you for having me.
Cyclone, man. Hey, we got to get a reunion popping back at some point, man.
I'm ready. Let's go. And
tell your brother I said what's up too, man.
I will, for sure.
That's my guy.
He's doing it. I'll tell him that you said hi. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it always.
No problem.
Always be ready to help the people. You be like, oh, this what you doing? Okay, let's go. So yes.
I saw you on LinkedIn. I was like, yeah, let's go. I'll lend my platform. We just got a couple of people. We ain't got nobody like that.
Whatever. Okay, yes. So NicoleSallis.com. Don't do that. Call me, hit me up, and invite me to come and speak to your people, because I'm doing a lot of trainings and speaking engagements and talking about the book. So hit me up.
All right.